Thanks for the support as a channel member, Ollie Collins. The World Cup continues today, as you can probably gather by my increasing levels of sweatiness throughout these World Cup videos. I'm recording them all back to back, right in the middle of the heat wave before I went on holiday. So I've got the air conditioning on for this one. I made it through too without, if you hear any clunking or weird audio stuff going on, it's the noise gate trying to cut it out as well as possible. But you'll probably hear it if I stop talking and then start talking again. You'll hear it just kind of clunk in and out there. I apologise. The other option is this video just wasn't going to come out, so I couldn't melt anymore. I'm finally starting to feel the sweat dry. Should we try and win the World Cup? What am I saying? Hello and welcome to part 3 of my World Cup extravaganza with England. That's what I've decided to call it. Almost certainly not what I decided to call it, but I think it's a good name for this little series-ending mini-series. As you'll know from the last couple of episodes, we are now into the quarter-final of the World Cup. We face Denmark today. I think the winner faces the United States. Siri is telling me about the World Cup, which doesn't feel necessary. In fact, the winner doesn't face the United States. The winner faces Spain. So it's Germany against the US in the semi-final. Spain against either us or Denmark. Fingers crossed we've got enough about us to get past Denmark. They have they're further back in the world rankings than Colombia are, who we beat comfortably in the last round. But we do have a couple of injury/fitness issues. Radmore got injured and is out for the rest of the World Cup. He's our backup right back, so we don't really have anyone to rotate Frost with, who also picked up a knock earlier in the tournament. Chris Barrett, one of our first choice centre-backs, picked up an injury in that last game. He's going to be out at least for today. Might even miss the semi-final as well if we get there. But in addition to those two, our two wingers, Daniel and Lee Cook, are both shattered from just charging up and down the wing the whole time. So they're both starting from the bench today, which is a big decision. But I'm thinking this is the easiest game we've got left in the tournament. We know how injury-prone Lee Cook is in particular. We need to try and nurse him through so we can get the best out of him when it really matters. And yes, today matters. And if we go 2-0 down, we'll bring Lee Cook on. But I hope we've got enough about us to get the job done without him. So we're going with Bevins in goal, a back four of Russell, Shelley, Nixon, Burke and Frost, Bruce at the base of the midfield, Lind and Emmanuel in centre midfield, Collier and Gray supporting Newell up front. Remember, this is the Steve Newell World Cup. He is the greatest player England have ever produced, but he's obviously never won the World Cup. He's won everything else with England, including all-time record appearance, all-time record goal scorer, all that kind of stuff. At 32 years old, it's his last chance to win the World Cup and a last chance for this England golden generation who've been world-ranked #1 for most of the last 5 years to go one better than they did 4 years ago when they were losing finalists and win a World Cup. That's the plan. That's the goal. Let's not mess it up against Denmark. Emmanuel with a free kick. 19 minutes on the clock. He's hit the crossbar. And I think, was that Newell who was there? I don't think it was, actually. Who is the number 4? Shelley was in there, who was suspended for the last game. I'm not sure where Newell was, but he would have been the man to be lurking around on the end of that, really, because you'd got to back the super goal scorer, the guy who's been leading the line for Barcelona for the best part of 10 years. You expect him to score a goal there. But that's been the only chance we've had in this first half so far. We've only managed 35% possession. George Gray, who's been brought into the team to allow Daniel to have a little bit of a rest, has picked up a knock. And that means, at the very least, Daniel is coming on for the second half because there's no point leaving an injured man on. So Daniel can come on that side. We are very much looking at Collier with Cook as an option to come on as well early in this second half. And there'll be one other move. Maybe Diallo would be the other man to bring on, who's another one with absolutely bags of England experience, who's just being rested today because he's played every minute of every game previous to this one. Collier has now also picked up an injury. We'll give him 10 minutes and then Lee Cook is going to come on for the final half hour. Okay, we won't. We'll give him 7 minutes. I'm now very glad I didn't start Cook and Daniel because they would have got injured in the same way, presumably. Cook can now come on. It's not really the circumstances I wanted to bring those two players on in, but they are now both on. And here is Daniel. And can he conjure something up for us? Frost on the overlap, crosses in towards Emmanuel, but doesn't find him. It falls to Nixonberg, who plays it forward to Daniel. Ball over to Lee Cook, who is in and scores. He is such an important player for both club and country. He's been on the pitch all of a minute and has just scored for England to put us 1-0 up in the World Cup quarter-final. That's why it's so important to keep Lee Cook fit, because he's such a dangerous player. But we know from him at Bourne, he's very injury prone. You really have to nurse him through these runs of games where you're playing twice a week. He can't cope with it. His body, after those injuries he got early in his career, his body is not built for playing 2 games a week for 3 or 4 weeks in a row. We never got him to do it for Bourne, and we can't really ask him to do it for England, although we might have to if Collier's got a proper injury, because we're not going to have a backup option for him. Plus, after this, if we do continue in the World Cup, it's a semi-final and a final. He's one of our best players. We'd obviously want him to play in them anyway. Let's just hope he doesn't pick up an injury. This guy's enormous. My word, look at the size of him. We're going to look at him in a second. We're going to look at him now. I need to know how tall Russell is, because we've got him playing at left back. He's 6'5". A 6'5" centre-back playing at left back. Does this England manager know what he's doing? Starting to seem maybe not. Newell intercepts and plays it back to Cook, who plays it back into the path. In fact, not of Newell, it's Lind who's charged forward. It falls to Bruce. It's a beautifully worked goal. If that referee's disallowing this, I'll be furious. He's not. That's all right then, because that was very, very well worked. Bruce got himself into a nice little bit of space. I don't know who saw him or how. Lind has got the assist. Let's just work out how this has happened. So Lind is through. Okay, he's kicked it into the heels of that guy and it's bounced back into the path of Bruce. It's not as well worked as it looked from the other angle. It's a very fortuitous deflection that Bruce has absolutely made the most of. We can't criticise anyone for their involvement in it, but maybe the praise was a little bit too soon. Bruce probably needs to come off now as well, because he's another one who's played every minute of every game so far. We'll bring Diallo on to sit in that little gap between the defence and the midfield. Our world-class midfielder, our captain. We're going to drop a little bit of praise. And Lee Cook is in again. Is he going to shoot? Is he going to square it? He tries to square it. Doesn't get there, but he's won the ball back again. It's with Russell. Cross into Daniel, who forces a very good save out of the Denmark goalkeeper. We've got a corner, and we just need to hold on from here. And once again, like we did in the last round, drop back to balanced at this point and just try and ease our feet off the pedal a little bit. We don't want to be too gung-ho going forward. Not because we're trying to protect a lead, but because we're trying to protect fitness levels. Cook is through here, and it's another very good save from the Denmark goalkeeper, who's had a good game. He's made at least 2 very important saves that on another day could have turned things around in the other direction for Denmark. If they'd have been any good going forward, with all the possession they've had and how good their goalkeeper is, they'd have had a real chance. But alas, none of that happened. They didn't have a chance. And we're through to the World Cup semi-final, in which we play Spain, and we've collected some more injuries. So let's just have a quick look to see what the injury situation is. So Gray is injured, and he'll be back. He'll be able to be on the bench for the semi-final. Russell is injured, and he will also be able to sit on the bench for the semi-final. Collier is injured, and will also be able to sit on the bench for the semi-final. This is good. So Spain are ranked 3rd in the world. This is our first big test of this World Cup, and it's come in the semi-final. Something about that seems really familiar. I guess we fast forward now and go and play a World Cup semi-final. Well, Germany are through, which means this World Cup, and this, let me know in the comments if this has ever happened before, the final 3 teams left in the World Cup are the top 3 ranked in the world. We're ranked number 1. Germany are ranked number 2. Spain are ranked number 3. If it all goes to form, it should be an England-Germany final in Germany, which is certainly not going to be easy if we manage to get there. But getting past Spain is going to be far from easy as well, especially because we still have not really injury worries, but fitness worries, which I guess everybody has at this stage of a tournament. Radmore obviously still unavailable, but players who I don't really deem fit to start, Russell, Gray, Collier, Barrett, Nixon, Burke, all below 90% conditioning. But then if you look in the team, we've also got Frost, Shelley, Bruce, Daniel, all also below 90% condition. And Lee Cook, I would never in a million years start him on 91% condition in any game other than a World Cup semi-final or maybe the final, because we know how easily he breaks. But this is the team we're going with for a World Cup semi-final, potentially the final game of this epically long save that we've been doing. It's Bevins in goal, a back four of Ryder, Wilson, Shelley and Frost, Bruce at the base of the midfield, Lind and Diallo ahead of him, Cook, Daniel and Newell are our front three. We need Steve Newell to turn up today. We've been bigging him up all tournament, and he's only scored 2 goals in this World Cup so far. Today is the day for him to go out and get a hat-trick and just ease us into the World Cup final without too much effort. That's what we're looking for. Pick up where you left off last time out, boys. We've had a very good World Cup up until this point, but like I said, we've not actually faced anybody any good yet. So this is where it really starts to get a little challenging. And Spain, as you would expect, are a good side. So good that I don't think we ever signed a Spanish player for Bourne because they were always too expensive. Ryder with the big throw, and I think Newell's been fouled there. I believe we have a 15-minute penalty. Give him a red card as well, ref. And it is Steve Newell to step up, who of course is a Barcelona player. He's been at Barcelona for about 10 years, and his penalty is saved. Where do his loyalties really lie? Ugh, that's Newell ruined as well. We know what happens when players miss penalties. That's him finished for this semi-final now. We may as well take him off because he's going to be next to useless for the rest of the match because missing a penalty is so harshly punished in FM20. So, Neefsy, get warming up. You're coming on at half-time because there's no point in Newell staying on longer than that. I hope he proves me wrong in the rest of this first half. There is Daniel. It's bobbling around from the long throw again. Long throws look like they are causing teams problems in this World Cup, but we've been caught out very flat at the back here with our fitness issues we've got in our defence. And Spain just hitting us with a very quick counter-attack that was a little bit worrying. It was the way I like to play football, and they just did it to me, and I don't like it. And we need to, I mean, look at the state of Newell. Down to a 6.1. We're going to get nothing out of him now. We probably should have just taken him off on 15 minutes. The moment he missed the penalty, we just finished him off. It's so frustrating because that could be the end of our World Cup now because of a missed penalty, and he shouldn't be that harshly punished. For a player who's done as well as he has over the years, see, we should be expecting him to score here. As it is, yeah, that looks about right for a player who missed a penalty, and now his rating goes down even further. We know he's better than that. It shouldn't hit him that hard. Right, aggressive, far from pleased with what I've just seen, and Newell's coming off, which is a big call. In fact, they're recommending George Gray rather than Neefsy. We'll go with Gray. I'm not going to argue. We'll go with Gray, and we'll see if he's any good as a striker. Let's experiment in the World Cup semi-final. Why not? Oh, Neefsy saved us against Iran the last time we were struggling for goals. Have I made the wrong decision there? The thing is, Gray can go out onto either wing if we have to take off Cook or Daniel, and there's a high chance we'll have to take off them both. So Neefsy will get on anyway because Gray will drop out wide. Right, it's Spain with possession in midfield again, which they seem to be getting a lot of. We've managed to get it clear there, but Cook was nowhere near where you would expect him to be looking for the clearance, and I suspect he's probably tiring. And we could really do with a breakthrough here, but it does feel a lot like it's Spain who are going to be the one to break the deadlock. And that's not a very nice feeling. And that's such a sloppy goal. I don't even understand what's happened there. I'm going to need to see that from the other angle to work out why the ball changed direction so much and why the keeper seemingly didn't move for it. Why are we not getting the tackle in? What's happened here? It's a deflection past the keeper, but he doesn't even dive. Oh, that's hideous. Right, we demand more, and we are going to have to make some changes. And the problem is, I don't know if we've got the oomph to make the changes because of the fitness levels. We'll have to see. Someone needs to step up and make themselves a hero. Frost, cross to Diallo, and it's England's captain who's made himself a hero with an immediate reply. Alex Diallo. It's Spain 1, England 1. If you spent an extra minute at the bar at the start of this second half getting an extra drink in, you've missed both goals in this game. Wonderful stuff from Diallo, who's just thrown himself onto the end of that. He's just taken it upon himself. I'm England captain. We've messed up here. Let's go and fix the problem. And he's gone up there and fixed the problem. Cannot fault him for that at all. Wonderful leadership. Now we just need to use that to inspire us into the rest of the game. Frost is shattered. We don't really have a backup right back. Now we know Nixon Burke can play there, but it's a World Cup semi-final. Really an opportunity for we know he can play there. He can do a job. Do we really want someone to come on and do a job? No one is being recommended. I've seen him do it. Hold on, wrong guy. Frost. They are recommending Nixon Burke. He's the guy who's going to come on and do it. Let's see what he's got. Daniel, we're keeping a close eye on. Bruce, we're keeping a close eye on. Cook, he's just going to have to play on. In fact, I think I'm going to take Daniel off now and get Neefsey on. Stick Gray out onto the right-hand side. And see if that's enough to get us the breakthrough. We are tired. And we're risking injury to Lee Cook by leaving him on the pitch. But he's a game changer, and it's a game that needs changing. Wilson now plays it forward to Cook, who's going to look up and hit one of his... No, he's not. I thought he was going to hit a special pass. He was looking for Domenico, and then he realised he's not there. There's no one to chase on to his special pass. Lind, forward to Gray. It goes past his man. He's got Neefsey ahead of him. He had Cook ahead of him as well, but he's given the ball away by just running straight into the Spanish defender. And at least we're pressing and in their half now. The problem is, with this high-pressing game that we have, it is tiring us out. And it's a tournament, and people tell me all the time, you can't go to a tournament and press. I do it in the Streamer Showdown. This is the system I've used to win that 3 times. So I know it can work in a tournament. It's just whether it'll work in this one. Looking for Neefsey from the long throw. It's going to fall to Diallo, I hope. In fact, the Spanish attacker has got there first, but he's just lumped it forward, and Nixon Burke is just going to get that under control and get the ball moving back in the right direction again. Lind with the ball over top for Cook, but he can't get there. We're struggling to get on the end of stuff. Nixon Burke's looking for Cook again, and Cook has got himself sent off, so he'll miss the final if we get there. That is a massive blow. An absolutely massive blow. I think we go 2 up top, and I think that might be the end of our World Cup. Because I don't see how 10 men that are already tired get back into this game. We're going to ask for a final 10 minutes of passion. If we get extra time, it'll kill us. We can't do extra time. But at the same time, we don't want to concede a goal in normal time either. What are you doing? That's not a penalty, thankfully. If that's given as a penalty, the FIFA are corrupt. And that could never be the situation, surely. It was well outside the area, but it's all gone wrong. England have fallen apart. Come on, ref. Do your job properly. We knew it wasn't a penalty. That's fine. Don't be sending my player off, though. We're already down to 10 men. Referee. Thought he was going to do something spectacularly dumb there. It was never that close to the penalty area either. There was no way it was that close. It was a good yard outside of the area. That's why it was weird that he went over to the VAR in the first place. Right. Come on. We want a final bit of anything. It's Spain with the free kick, and Bevans makes the save, but the Spanish attacker is in, but he's offside, I think. Is it being ruled out? I think it is being ruled out. It has been ruled out. It has been ruled out. Whew, and that was close. But we're just clinging on at this point. It feels like it's just delaying the inevitable. We've narrowly missed a penalty conceding this. We've now had a goal for them disallowed. It does feel like the inevitable is being delayed, but Diallo's got a 2-on-2 here. He plays it into Gray, and Gray scores! What an important goal for England! I thought he looked a mile offside. But that should be the goal that puts England into the World Cup final. Diallo in so much space. He must have been offside. I'm not going to be the one who says he is. We drop back to balanced, and we are in the World Cup final. That showed some proper character and grit and determination. And we come back tomorrow for a World Cup final that unfortunately is not going to have Lee Cook in it. But I did not think we were making it through to that final. Goodness me. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.